Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, May 12th, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the, I guess I have to say men and women now out there who consider themselves mothers or who are mothers to someone. That includes aunties and grandmas and all of that too. Sometimes our teachers and everything even, have to fill in that mother role. So happy holiday to anybody who is celebrating that. I mean, in my personal life, I don't like wishing men happy Mother's Day. I don't like wishing women happy Father's Day. I like to, and it has nothing to do with gender or sexual. It has nothing to do with sexuality, rather, but more so to do with actually the act of being a mother or a father. And I don't think that, I think that mothers have we have our time, and we don't need to be celebrated as fathers. And, fathers have their time. They don't need to be celebrated as mothers. But, that's in my personal life. And no judgments against anybody who practices something different. So we have that. And on the 13th, the next day, so Monday, is the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. So I'll talk about that briefly because Our Lady of Fatima is actually a feast day that is recognized and celebrated for about 6 months, from May through October, every month on the 13th, with the largest of those being June 13th, when Mary showed up on May 13th, and she appeared to 3 kids, and nobody believed the kids. So she said, all right, tell your whole town and everybody to come back on June 13th. So that's why that one's the big one. So I think I'm probably setting myself up here because there's a lot going on June 13th and a lot that we'll have to celebrate. But I think I'm going to wait and not talk about that this week. I'll just, give you a little tidbit, a little bit more than I just did. The Hebrew calendar, they continue to, again, count the Omer. So that means continuing with the prayers, completing the 49 days, similar to how Christians continue to pray and to recognize the octaves of Easter for 50 days, leading to the feast day of the Pentecost. On the Islamic calendar, it is Ramadan through June 13th. So that's another thing, that I said we were going to talk about on June 13th. So let's talk about Our Lady of Fatima for a second. And I didn't even open this whole page officially to be able to even tell you what the name of the site is. I can only see the portion that says New York Latin Culture, Our Lady of Fa. I'm not even clicking on it. That's how much I don't want to, read too much. Celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Fatima in Portugal. Our Lady of Fatima is a famous Marian apparition first witnessed by 3 children in Fatima on May 13th in the year 1917. 1917, of course, equaling 9/9, as does May 13th, right? 5 plus 13 is 18 equals 9. And then 1917 equals 9/9. So I've explained before that 9s were connected to Mary, as are 6s and 13s. And I've pointed it out many times. I'm about to do it again. So it was first recognized by the Roman Catholic Church in 1930. 1930 also equals 13 or 4 or 1111. And on May 13th in 2017, as opposed to 1917, Pope Francis canonized 2 of the children as saints. So I'm going to stop there because, again, I didn't even open the page up. And we'll talk about Our Lady of Fatima some more on June 13th. What's interesting is 9s and 11s are also connected to the Year of the Pig. And this is the Year of the Pig. 1971 was the year of the pig, which is also a 9/9, which is like the 1917 transposed. And I think there's only been one other, because it comes around so infrequently. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into that. Like I said, I'll wait till June. So what else is going on this month? Let's move to the celestial calendar, because there were two biggies on there. Oh, no, wait, before that, still in the Christian calendar, on the 14th now is the feast day of one of the apostles, the Apostle Matthias. So for that, I am reading from Orthodox Church in America, or www.oca.org. Apostle Matthias of 70. The holy Apostle Matthias was born in Bethlehem of the tribe of Judah. From his early childhood, he studied the law of God under the guidance of Saint Simeon, the God receiver. When the Lord Jesus Christ revealed himself to the world, Saint Matthias believed in him as the Messiah, followed him constantly, and was numbered among the 70 apostles, whom the Lord, quote, sent them 2 by 2 before his face. Luke 10:1. Now, I've talked about Jesus dispatching the apostles before. He's done it, yes, in groups of 70 like this. And of course, sevens represent God. But there's also 2 places in the Bible where he dispatches 72,000 disciples 2 by 2. 72,000 times 2 is 144,000. He dispatches them 2 by 2. That's just one of the examples of the many, many places in the scriptures that the illumined ones, and sometimes other members of the elect as well, altogether totaling about 650,000 people, are mentioned. And when I say the scriptures, I don't only mean the Christian scriptures. So when people come at you talking about, oh yeah, I know all about this, it's in, Revelation 7, Revelation 13. If that's all they know, they don't know much. They don't know much. There's, like God said, he would reach the 4 corners of the earth. That's what he's done. Even indigenous peoples, again, have different prophecies and texts related to, it's the same beings. I still need to do that video about the rainbow prophecies. All right, getting back to this. After the ascension of the Savior, so Jesus, they're talking about after Ascension Thursday, St. Matthias was chosen by lot, so like lottery, like draw a name, to replace Judas Iscariot. So that's the Judas that betrayed Jesus. So he was chosen to replace him as one of the 12 apostles. And this can be found in the book of Acts 1:15 through 26. After the descent of the Holy Spirit, which is the feast day of the Pentecost, the Apostle Matthias preached the gospel at Jerusalem and in Judea together with the other apostles. Acts 6:2 and 8:14. From Jerusalem, he went with the apostles Peter and Andrew to Syrian Antioch and was in the Cappadocian city of Tianum and Sinope. Here, the Apostle Matthias was locked into prison, from which he was miraculously freed by St. Andrew, the first called. And they have first called in capital letters too. Now, St. Andrew is one of my favorites. He's the one that when you see him like depicted or illustrated, he'll have a huge X in front of him. And that's because he was crucified. He was a martyr. And he chose to be crucified on an X. He said, I don't deserve to die like Jesus on a cross. Put me on an X. So that's why when I pull that Release Your X card from the Doreen Virtue Romance Angel cards, sometimes for me it means like releasing your X, like living and or dying like St. Andrew, how you choose, not how somebody else wants you to. It doesn't always mean for me, to break up with your old boyfriend or girlfriend. Anyway, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. The apostle Matthias journeyed after this to Amsi, a city on the shore of the sea. During a 3-year journey of the apostle Andrew, St. Matthias was with him at Edessa and Sebast. According to church tradition, he was preaching at Pontine, Ethiopia, which is presently western Georgia and Macedonia. He was frequently subjected to deadly peril, but the Lord preserved him to preach the gospel. Once again, pagans forced the saint to drink a potion. He drank it, and not only did he himself remain unharmed, but he also healed other prisoners who had been blinded by the potion. When St. Matthias left the prison, the pagans searched for him in vain, for he had become invisible to them. Another time, no, we can do that too. We can become invisible to people because we're not in the same dimension as them at a given time. And there's some interesting stuff, I'm sure that you can find like on the internet and things, stories, tales of people who seem to have just disappeared into thin air, without a trace. And it is my belief, that they simply moved to a different plane of existence, a different reality, a different dimension. I've brought back stuff from other dimensions that I knew right away that that's what it was from. I remember my first experience with it. So this is like 2016. One day, one of my first experiences, not the first, one of my first experiences. So I parked my car in an indoor garage. And now they keep it in the front because I had some problems with vandalism that wasn't caught on the tape. So now they keep it like right under the cameras. But before, they would move it to different parts of the garage because I had a dedicated space in the lowest level for years. And then this new company came in to manage it. And so they moved things around. And while they were doing construction, I sort of was supposed to temporarily lose my space, but I kind of like permanently lost it. They never put my car back in the lower level. And so when that happened, I lost the ability to like park and lock. But they kept trying to make it sound like, I was getting a better deal. Like, oh, this is good though. You're not doing park and lock. Yeah, but you get valet service. So people bring me my car. So the guy comes down he had parked my car on the upper level, and he comes down the ramp and he stops at the bottom of the ramp, still on the ramp, like on an incline. But he stops there and he gets out for me to get in. And I get in and I pick up this key. And in one sense, it's a familiar key. And in another sense, it was like, where the hell did this come from? It was a key to my car, a working key to my car, not my set, I have like the big remote, and then I had the valet keys, the valet set of keys with the smaller remote, with the valet remote. And then this was just like another key that turned up, that was like, not buried anywhere. It was right there, like in my dash, and he had used it. He had it in my ignition. And I'm like, where did this key to my car come from? It was like from another dimension. Crazy. But I've had a lot of experiences like that. Another time when the pagans had become enraged, intending to kill the apostle, the earth opened up and engulfed them. The apostle Matthias returned to Judea and did not cease to enlighten the countrymen with the light of Christ's teachings. He worked great miracles in the name of the Lord Jesus, and he converted a great many to faith in Christ. The Jewish high priest, Ananias, hated Christ and earlier had commanded the apostle James, brother of the Lord, to be flung down from the heights of the temple. And now he ordered that the apostle Matthias be arrested and be brought for judgment before the Sanhedrin at Jerusalem. The impious Ananias uttered a speech in which he blasphemously slandered the Lord using the prophecies of the Old Testament. The apostle Matthias demonstrated that Jesus Christ is the true God, the promised Messiah, the Son of God, consubstantial and co-eternal with God the Father. After these words, the Apostle Matthias was sentenced to death by the Sanhedrin, and he was stoned. When St. Matthias was already dead, the Jews, to hide their malfaction, cut off his head as an enemy of Caesar. And in parentheses, they have, according to several historians, the Apostle Matthias was crucified, and indicate that he instead died at Colchis, in close parentheses. The Apostle Matthias received the martyr's crown of glory in the year 63. And again, that's from the Orthodox Church in America. That's what they call it. So that's it now for the Christian calendar. And now we can move on to the celestial calendar, the planetary overview, if as it were. Beginning with Venus in Taurus, I believe. Let me confirm. Yep. On May 15th at 5:46 a.m., Venus enters Taurus. So leaving Aries, that's, where she had been. Also on May 15th, her counterpart, her boyfriend, at 11:09 p.m., Mars enters Cancer. So Mars currently located in Gemini, leaving Gemini, moving to Cancer. And then on May 18th, the last day for which this reading is, at 5:11 p.m., there will be the full moon in Scorpio. So, Venus in Taurus. And for this, I'm going to www.tarot.com. Venus in Taurus, sensual, loyal, comfort-seeking. Venus is the planet of love and beauty, and traditionally rules both Taurus and Libra. She's the planet that's concerned with pleasure, whether that's pleasure in love or in our physical world. Tracking which zodiac sign Venus is in can help you to see which cosmic factors are influencing you and your significant other. Matters of the heart are a mystery, but passion planet Venus can give us a few clues. There's another important expression of Venus and Taurus too, and that's money. These two appreciate the finer things in life, like good food, beautiful scenery, and luxury items. Taurus represents Venus's more tactile delights and the things two lovers can enjoy together. When Venus is in Taurus, when this loving planet enters the earthy sign of Taurus, we're reminded of just how beautiful this world can be. Venus's presence in this patient zodiac sign signals a time of simplifying complexities, getting down to fundamentals, and rebuilding relationships from the ground up. This is an ideal time to bring love and money issues out into the open so that they can be dealt with directly and easily. Dating is delightful when Venus is in Taurus. It encourages us to slow down, live in the moment, and to find ways to enjoy the company of someone special. Maybe you and your sweetheart will cuddle up and watch a great movie, open a good bottle of wine, or feast on something delicious. This is the time when you'll be in the mood to indulge your senses. Taurus is a security-oriented sign that seeks stability over torrid passion. That means when this planet and sign get together, we're more drawn to commitment than to quick affairs or casual dating. If you want a relationship, or if you've had your eye on someone for a while, this could be the time when you two decide to take things to the next level. There's a possibility that our partnerships could get bogged down by the infamous stubbornness Taurus is known for when Venus is in Taurus as well. This is one drawback of this cosmic coupling that everyone should be mindful of. If you're in a relationship or on track toward commitment, this might be a time when it's more difficult for the two of you to move forward as a couple. Compromise can be difficult when you're dealing with the bull. If you're single, this is the time when you'll feel some internal resistance to opening yourself up and letting someone new in. Remember, a little bit of flexibility can go a long way. And they go on to talk about what it means if you were born with your personal Venus in Taurus. And moving on to Mars in Cancer. Also from www.tarot.com, Mars in Cancer. Nurturing, protective, and emotional. From May 15th through July 1st, 2019. Assertive Mars has an uphill battle ahead of him when he moves into the sensitive sign of Cancer. This warrior planet prefers to charge ahead, acting on instincts rather than weighing the consequences of its actions. Cancer is a water sign concerned with the emotional security and protection, not exactly a natural fit for aggressive Martian energy. So when impulsive Mars moves into the sign of Cancer, she douses his fiery flame, forcing him to slow down and to move more carefully. Mars is the warrior planet. He's assertive and action-oriented, helping to rev us up so that we can get from point A to point B. It may seem like we're all doomed to stand still when Mars begins its tour through the sign of Cancer, but don't be fooled. Because this transit still packs quite the punch, Mars in Cancer still has fight in it. It simply chooses to fight with deep sensitivity for what is most emotionally connected to. When Mars is in Cancer. Mars's trek through Cancer gives us the opportunity to blend the fiery planet's initiative with Cancerian concerns for preservation. We'll want to spend this time carefully building things that honor and acknowledge our connection to the past and to family values. Our urge to move forward during this time doesn't cut us off from familiar patterns, but includes them to make them more gentle and comfortable to step into the future. It's true that Mars is toned down when it moves through sensitive Cancer, but that doesn't mean that we won't get anything done. If we learn how to work with Mars and Cancer energy, a great deal can be accomplished. Digging into domestic tasks is one of the best ways to use this transit. Mars in Cancer is a great opportunity to get out your hammer and nails so that you can start or finish a home improvement project. You may also feel a greater need to fight for the rights of a family member or a domestic situation during this time. Even though Mars in Cancer prefers using its energy to nurture, it will ultimately do whatever it takes to defend what and whom it cares about. As a result, you may notice that an intensely protective instinct takes over your actions when Mars and Cancer sync up. The problem with Mars's transit through cautious Cancer is that rather than taking a direct approach to going after what we want, we take a more passive one. If we don't feel emotionally connected to something, it's unlikely that we'll take action. Unfortunately, the action we do take is usually ruled by the heart and may be more reactive and overly sensitive than purposeful. Oh yeah, don't get me started with that energy. If you were born with your own Mars in Cancer, they go on to talk about that. And on that note, let's get to the dice. So we're going to start with yes, party, and weekend away. Cool. Spirit says eat cake. That goes with the party. Maybe it's somebody's birthday or you're celebrating something else, graduations going on right now, people getting engaged, people getting married. May is a huge month for that. Happy birthday, congratulations, happy anniversary, whatever applies. Mazel tov, all of that stuff. Massage. And still yes. So, starting out some really nice cards this week. The Eight of Fire. This is movement. This is good news. This is the universe working behind the scenes on your behalf. Eight of Fire, always good, positive energy for me. I've never picked up bad energy from the Eight of Wands. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. I'm going to use these first. So I'll leave them here. The Six of Spring or Wands with the Animal Tarot. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. So you could be receiving maybe some sort of award, maybe in the mail, or maybe, like I said, connected to school, graduation or something. They call out the graduates and you guys have an awards night. They have awards night for the sports teams, awards night for all kinds of different things when people are moving on, whether you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, college. There's always some sort of recognition or whatever that comes with that. So that could be what this is. Again, with this being about moving. So maybe you're moving on to the next phase of your life or to the next school. And again, this is your accolade. Doesn't have to be that. It could be, some other sort of recognition. Again, maybe you're getting engaged, you're having a huge engagement party, things are moving in your relationship. Because I'm going to use my numerology deck too, and I'm beginning with card number 56, relationship change. So that may be applicable to some people in that area, and or one's relationship with their mother could be changing. All right, this is the general reading, so it's not necessarily, we see relationship change. It's not necessarily connected to love and romance. It can be any kind of relationship. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. When this card shows up, usually the first thing that pops into your mind about your relationship with your mother, whether you're, blessed to still have her or she has passed on, is what you need to work on at this time in your life. Whatever the first thing that pops in. So if it's a positive thing, that's on what you should be focusing and maybe trying to build upon if that's possible. Or if it's something that you wish you could change. I don't even want to use the word negative with regard to somebody's mother, but it's something you wish you could change. Maybe not the best relationship, then that's the thing that you should be working on. Last week, both parents came up in my general reading. And right side by side too, mother and father. General reading or love reading? I don't remember which one, but both parents came up and there was some stuff that had to be worked on. So some of the not so great relationships with our parents for the most part in that reading. But this week I feel it's a little bit different. And, maybe because this week we're celebrating Mother too. Again, it's Mother's Day. That could be another reason why party showed up too. Maybe there's some sort of gathering, family gathering. People are happy and getting together over the weekend. Maybe a weekend away is traveling to visit your mother as well. All right, so again, I'm going to start with the Eight of Fire, or Eight of Wands. Events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, and many things are happening at once. And opening to the Seven of Fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. Seven of Fire is like a warrior spirit kind of energy. It's like you put your foot down, you just had it, and you're just not taking anybody's crap anymore. That doesn't mean you're going to be walking around pushing people around or fighting everybody. You will choose your battles wisely. Some things you will fight out, and some things you will just walk away. And opening to the Three of Water. So this is you being social, again, maybe attending a party, so family gathering, social gathering, friends, could be reunions, people coming together, because they haven't seen each other in a long time. People could be coming together for celebratory reasons, maybe again to celebrate mom or graduation or something, the birth of a child, engagement. This could be couples getting back together, reuniting as well. A celebration, a wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. Seven of Fire. And Major Arcana card 21, the World, which is also a fire element feeling card for me. It represents some sort of fire. I haven't attributed it to one sign or another. So, I wouldn't say it's Leo, it's Sagittarius, it's Aries. It's just fire when I pick it up. This card is about something, I call it like my waiting to exhale card. Something that was like long drawn out. You should have been done with it a long time ago. A job you should have, left, retired, quit, something, moved on, sought a promotion, you know, a long time ago, but you didn't. You let yourself sit there and get stale. And I'm not judging you because I did the same thing. I pretty much sat at the same desk, although I kept getting things added on, tasks added on to what I was to do. I pretty much sat at the same desk for 22 years, you know, where I should have made my way around the world, you know, getting different experiences and things. So eventually the universe helps you out of that situation since you haven't helped yourself out of it. It can apply to relationships too, though. Friendships, romantic relationships, familiar relationships. We need to love each other from a distance instead of up close, all those sorts of things. Something coming to an end, sometimes it can have to do with our connection to something material too. It's time to move. It's time to get a new car. You know, you find God forbid, but you have a car accident and your car is total. It's because the universe wants you to have a new one. So they give you a new one through insurance or something. Whereas you know, probably at some point could have bought a new one, but you didn't. And so now you feel stuck. Now you feel like you can't. You don't have the money or whatever. But if the universe wants you to have a new car, the universe makes a way for you to have a new car. So it's that sort of thing too. Also with the world, you know, being this 360 degrees, 360, you know, degrees of cipher, however you want to look at it. It can be about something coming full circle too, right? The circumference of a circle is 360 degrees. Something coming full circle, coming back around. An opportunity that was missed maybe, it's coming back around. Seven of Fire. And Major Arcana card 16, Life Experience or the Tower. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. The Tower can have to do with an actual tower, building, structure, maybe a home. Doesn't have to though. It's anything that, it's an abrupt energy. So it's very similar to the world in that it's the universe, you know, removing you from a situation, changing your situation. But with the world, it can require patience because it's often very, very slowly. We get eased out of the situation. With the Tower, something abruptly happens and that's it. Now, a lot of people for that reason, because we're afraid of change, right, are afraid of the Tower. I am not. I think that a Tower ultimately is always good, always. Even if we don't like what happens, you know, in a given moment. Ultimately, it's always good. And sometimes it's good from the onset, right? It's a very positive tower. Sometimes we get swept off our feet in a romantic way. You know, we get surprised in a huge way, unexpectedly, so pleasantly surprised. That's the Tower too. I'll do one more. God, all this fire. Have you guys noticed that? So now the 9 and the 10 of fire as well. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So this is you feeling down and out, but the universe saying, nope, not yet. We're almost to the end. Don't give up yet. Don't fall down now. Get up. You know, like in the horror movies, they're almost safe, but they fall down and they lay there and look back and then the killer comes and he's like, This is the universe saying, don't do that. Get back up and keep running. And the 10 of fire, too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance and that can cause stress-related health concerns. So the 10 of fire is about us feeling burdened or burdensome upon somebody else. Maybe that's the situation we want to change. You know, one of those with the world. We want this person to stop living off us, or we want to stop feeling as if we're living off somebody else, whether that's financially or energetically or whatever it is. And maybe the end of whatever that situation is brings us sadness. 3 of air, great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So here we feel ourselves holding on to like guilt feelings and things. This can definitely be tied to one's mother and or to Mother's Day. That might be bringing up, right, triggering you, as they say, bringing up certain different feelings. What's going to be important is to remember that like you, your mother is human. She is fallible. She makes mistakes. But again, like you too. So you are human. You're not a super person. There's no need to hold on to guilt because you did something, or you feel you did something, or you feel you didn't do something. And you know, whatever is going on with any feelings like that, negative emotions, negative cords of attachment to anything and anyone, but this week, particularly to our mother, is what we need to cut. Overall energy is the King of Water. King of Water is trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. He's also a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be here because of that Venus in Cancer. Open your heart and mind to those around you. This card is also about trustworthy and heartfelt advice, as well as charity work. Charity work, and from my perspective, is love. It's about giving and or receiving of ourselves unconditionally. So that's unconditional love for me. I was also made to see that Major Arcana card 15, ego or the devil, is here behind the King of Cups. Now, this could be representative of the fact that Pluto is currently retrograde in Capricorn, right? Ego or the devil represents the sign of Capricorn in the tarot. A false sense of entrapment. This is also about being stuck or feeling stuck when it's not really true. Being overly focused on material things is also another possibility, or money, right? Worrying about being broke and all that kind of stuff. Also negative or fear-based thoughts. So the negative emotions, negative cords of attachment I just mentioned, that too. Crowning the masculine this week. The Page of Fire, still fire. This must be the Mars, right? He's very strong. Maybe it's the Mars. Page of Fire, outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So the masculine is getting an opportunity, or he's going to hear news about an opportunity. This could be the good news that the Eight of Wands brings, right? That we started with. The Page of Fire is a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Masculine is surrounded by the Knight of Earth, loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And he can be a sort of slow and steady wins the race kind of energy too that requires patience. He may be attached to the world. This Page of Fire may be attached to the world. This might be news of an opportunity, but again, we're being eased out of our old situation and toward this or into this new opportunity perhaps. Masculine subconscious, the Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging and maybe even a new area of study. So the opportunity that we're coming into could be a new job, could be an opportunity to go to school. It could be some sort of relationship, friendship with an earth sign, romantic relationship, some sort of connection. An earth sign could be significant. Or this could be our energy. And or we could be having some sort of impact upon a fire sign or a fire sign upon us. Or maybe we're the fire sign energy here. Crowning the feminine, it is Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant, which represents the sign of Taurus. Again, where Venus, which Venus rules and to where she is moving this week. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So this too, it's mirroring the Page of Earth, and this too can be about education, learning, enlightenment, seeking clarity, helping somebody else to become enlightened and clear on something, to gain an understanding, knowledge. I often say it's about changing like your environment too, and need to make adjustments to your environment. Or remember how I just read about the people that disappeared, and I went into how sometimes we're not in the same dimension. We're not in the same dimension sometimes because we're not in the same frequency. And now we're often not on the same frequency, right? Not everybody has the same dimensional reality, period. But there are extremes to that too, where sometimes we're so unaligned that we're literally in two different places, in two different dimensions. That's why we don't see eye to eye. That's why we don't get each other. And when that happens, it's time to make adjustments and to move toward people with whom we do align, people who match our frequency or theirs is higher than ours, from which we can learn something. This is also about breaking with tradition, the Hierophant. For me, I mean, for some people it might be about following tradition. For me, it's about like breaking with tradition. It's about being, a little bit more unique and out of the box and not having to follow a bunch of rules, sort of being a little rogue and raging against the machine. Can have to do with commitment, even marriage, contracts, like government agencies and things like that too. Surrounding the feminine, the Queen of Earth, thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Also, like the Knight and the Page, of course, a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth is very, motherly to me. It does represent like a mother kind of energy, that nurturing energy, and maybe connected to Mother's Day, perhaps Venus showing up as mother this weekend, or this week rather. Feminine subconscious, the Queen of Air. Speaking of Venus, I didn't know I had two cards here. I had no idea I had two cards here. But speaking of Venus, the Queen of Air. She is a ruler of Libra and Gemini as well. She's the esoteric ruler of Gemini. The Queen of Air is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you. Like I was talking about, making adjustments to your environment. Yeah, exactly. All that no longer serves you. Also seeing the humor in the situation. She is here coupled with, this is very interesting, the Knight of Water, who is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. This is Venus entering Cancer this week. That's what it is. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and an invitation to a social event. So the Knight of Water or Cups, he makes proposals, right? I propose maybe marriage. I propose a date. I propose commitment. And these can be some things that are on the feminine's mind. But again, maybe also breaking with tradition, maybe doing something non-traditional, co-creating a unique relationship that works for us, maybe eloping instead of having an actual marriage or a ceremony, maybe not getting married in the 3D at all, and according to contracts and man's law, but only following, going with the flow and the fact that, what two souls God joins together, let no man tear asunder. We're just going to follow that, and we're not going to get involved with anything man-made or man-done at all. All of those are possibilities here. Crowning, the Nine of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. This can represent singlehood, independence, making moves, especially money moves, as they say, like the movers and shakers, and, not doing too bad for yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean that one is rich or wealthy or anything, but, they're good. They got themselves, at least this week. Enjoying life's little luxuries. So that means crossing the Queen of Earth, though, I do see it, again, as potentially spending time either nurturing yourself or your family, or being nurtured, or a connection to that motherly energy, or maybe spending time with your actual mother also. Crossing the Knight of Earth and With the Page of Earth here and the Page of Fire here, this will also, again, be a new job, an opportunity for one's own business, or to earn some money, to become abundant in some way, something that is lucrative. At the root, foundation. Here's the actual opportunity, the Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. Of course, this can be romantic too. I refer to it as getting the wand sometimes. Sitting next to the Knight of Water and the Queen of Swords, which is representative for me of the true divine mother and father, Isis and Osiris. This can definitely be a new opportunity in love, a new start. And again, maybe a happy marriage for somebody, or happy commitment coming up, moving away from being single toward being a committed relationship, nurturing one another, catering to one another. At the heart of the matter, Major Arcana card 12, Awakening, or the Hanged Man. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself, so that you may feel like there's some sort of air of suspension where there's nothing happening. And again, things are moving on behind the scenes. But I'm going to clarify those cards with the other tarot deck. So let's see what we'll come up with. Again, begin with the Six of Spring. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention that you get. And opening to another Three of Summer. This feels like deja vu. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. So again, the Three of Summer, or cups, or water, can be about reunions, social gatherings, getting together with friends, actually celebrating something, all of those things. And the Seven of Winter, not really a fan of this one. Caution will help you to avoid such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions, as well as what others might be doing behind your back. Seven of Winter. And the Tower is also back. Major Arcana card 16. The Tower, or called life experience in this deck as it was in the other. Important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. That means, like, don't fear leaving something behind, or someone behind, or a group of people behind that you don't resonate with anymore. Because you know, if you know that that move is right for you, that getting away from that group is right for you, or that person or that thing, then do it. If you know that moving towards something, an opportunity is right for you, then do that. You know, being single is right for you, do that. You know, entering a commitment and being coupled now is what's right for you, do that. The Tower and the High Priestess. This is the time to pause and to reflect, not necessarily take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. So when the High Priestess shows up, that's the air of suspension. It means we're not meant to just leap at something. We're meant to observe first, use our intuition, our wisdom, whatever information comes our way, in order to determine what our next move should be. You know, she doesn't let everybody know what she's doing. She can be kind of secretive. She's the kind of person who might make you think she has no clue what's going on, and that you're getting over on her, and you'd be very wrong. You'd be very wrong. Coming to the Ace of Summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. Again, clarity, enlightenment. Overall energy is the Princess of Winter. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. The Princess of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Atop the page of fire, it is Major Arcana card 8, Justice. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Major Arcana card 8, Justice, represents the planet Venus and particularly the sign of Libra, which she rules, which is about, yes, fairness, balance, the scales being evened out, the playing field being evened out. And so you're going to get your fair opportunity to maybe apply for a job that you were otherwise shut out for, or to attend a school, or to enter a relationship, to start your own business. Maybe you couldn't get a loan, you couldn't get credit, all these different things. But the playing field, again, is being evened out. It's karmic justice, karmic law that's at play. Atop the Knight of Earth, the Prince of Summer, romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. So now we've got 2 Knights of Cups of water too. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer is a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Maybe one person with both of these elements in their chart or in their, persona. They're very earthy and watery. Or again, this can be a representation of the 2 transits that are happening this week. The Mars in Cancer and the Venus in Taurus. Atop the page of Earth, the 4 of Winter. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. So this can actually have to do with a decision, and maybe again with regard to your work, finances, taking a job, accepting, a new position, or something having to do with a relationship, an opportunity. Are you going to take the opportunity? Are you not? Maybe something you need to sleep on. 4 of Winter can also be about like recovery, like getting your energy back, taking a break. You may want to take a break off of work. Take some time off if you're able to do that, with the 4 of Winter and the Page of Earth coming up together. Atop the Hierophant, it is another awakening, another hangman, right? We have one right here, and now we're going to have one crossing the other. The Hangman, look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your prayers are halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. So this is a very spiritual combination, the Hangman and the Hierophant. Somebody definitely seeking enlightenment this week, the feminine. Really needing to go within, especially sitting here next to the 9 of Earth also, 9 of Pentacles. There's a lot of introspection and like a search for higher knowledge, higher consciousness and awareness going on with the feminine. Atop of the Queen of Earth, it's another High Priestess. This is the time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. It's funny that I just said this is about like she's really trying to tap into her spirituality, and then here we're having trust in those spiritual gifts. Could be for some with regard to a relationship. Atop the Knight of Water and the Queen of, oh, this is interesting now. The Queen of Air is the Queen of Water. So when 2 show up of the same element, it doesn't mean that there's necessarily a couple of the same element, but it does tend to represent in the tarot a coupling, like a romantic partnership, very likely, especially when it's the suit of water. The Queen of Summer is compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So I felt all that nurturing here, and I said it might have something to do with your mother, or you nurturing yourself, or others pampering you, nurturing you. If you're doing the nurturing, yeah, don't leave you out. I used to hate Mother's Day. I'll tell you why. Mother's Day would come around. Now here I am with my 3 kids. I was a young mother. I had 3 kids. They couldn't afford to take me anywhere, right? They were babies. My younger sister, never, she didn't earn as much as me. I guess I felt somewhat responsible that 6 years apart, I kind of, had a lot to do with her raising, her rearing. And so I would often like take her out too. So now I got to pay for her. Now I'm paying for me, my kids, her child, because she's a mother and the child can't afford. And then I got to take my own mama out. And then if when I was married, and or when my children's father was around, or was here, because he was in the military. Long story short. Anyway, his mother would join, and so now we're taking her out too. And I'm like, I'm a mother, and I'm not being celebrated. You could say it's a selfish thought, but like I wasn't. It just Mother's Day was just like so much work for me, and very expensive. I was always doing for other people. I didn't get to enjoy Mother's Day. Like I didn't get a break and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm feeling is coming through here. Like make sure that you, nurture yourself if you're busy nurturing other people too. Atop the 9 of Earth is the 9 of Summer. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So somebody's dream could be, some independence, singlehood, getting to know and understand themselves a little better. Again, coming to a higher consciousness, being successful, right? That can be a card of success too. Again, independent on your own. Atop the Ace of Fire, very nice. It is Major Arcana card 20, Renewal or Judgment in the tarot, which represents for me the planet Pluto, which is again located currently in Capricorn retrograde, but is the ruler of Scorpio, which is represented by the Queen of Summer. In the tarot, the fixed sign of a given element is usually tied to the Queen. So that would be Scorpio for the element of water. They are the fixed sign. Renewal or judgment can be about, yes, opportunity, but it's like abundance that we've earned, abundance that we've earned, or opportunity that we've earned, accolades we've earned, awards we've earned, recognition we've earned, ascension we've earned through our, karma, our work that we do, what we've put into the universe, the positive energy, paying off, karmic justice. So, getting our just rewards now from the universe. It can be having to do with ascension. It can be the universe, promoting you, right? Giving you a promotion, lifting you up. And then that reflects down here too, because as above, so below. And it can also definitely have to do with relationships, with a relationship coming back around. Like I said, maybe something's come full circle. Maybe this is the second time around. It can have to do with second chances, second time. Could be a second chance in something else. But if it is something else and not a relationship, it's something about which, you're extremely not only passionate, but, connected to emotionally. So even if it's the job, it's like the job of your dreams that you really, have in your heart. It's a friendship that, the person actually really means something to you, or it's a romantic situation, or it's a family matter. And so that's why your heart is in it too. But there's a lot of like love and emotion here on this table. At the heart of the matter, atop the Hangman, it's another Prince of Autumn. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. So like I was saying with this Knight of Earth that's here, or Prince of Autumn that's here, they can be connected to the to the Hangman energy rather, because again, that's a slow and steady wins the race sort of energy. And the Hangman, can feel like we're not moving at all, like, totally an air of suspension. This on the masculine side can be like a breakup or divorce too. Like I need a break. I need a rest from this situation. I want nothing to do with this situation. Whether that's romantic breakup, or again, I need to leave a job, I need to leave a situation, I need to leave a circumstance, and move toward something that the heart is more so drawing you to. which would be this that it's crossing here. This new opportunity, which is possibly an opportunity that's coming back around, or an opportunity to try again in a new way, right? At something or someone about which you're extremely passionate. This heart of the matter, again, the Prince of Autumn and the Hangman, can be about, similarly, like knowing intuitively, like consciously and subconsciously, what you do and don't want. So like, that's why I felt something here, like a break, like knowing I don't want to be bothered with whatever this is. I want to move towards something else. Same thing is coming up with this energy that's here. And something similar goes for the feminine. It's like boom, 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 because this hangman, there's a hangman here and there's a hangman here. And again, this can be about feeling or being particularly psychic and or spiritual, or something that came up maybe with us, maybe that a psychic, a psychic told you, or maybe you watched a reading like this, whether it was one of mine or somebody else's or something like that. You came into some sort of information and you're feeling, oh, the psychic was right. Psychic was right about something. This can be two people, two likely females. They may have had disagreement before, discord. It may have had to do with finances. It's like two bookkeeper types. They don't have to actually be bookkeepers. Again, maybe two mothers. You know, how you get into those things with your mother because you're a mother, but she's your mother. And so it's like there's a clash, like a power struggle. Can be that, but things working out well. And that may be what's reflected here too. Like an older one, a younger one. Or, two older women potentially. And maybe this is like the son and struggling. So maybe one is the wife, one is his mother. So there's like a power struggle there. Those are all some possibilities. In the interest of time, I'll go straight to advice. I was going to do a little bit more clarification maybe with this deck, but I'll just do advice with it. Begin with relationship change and opening to spiritual career. So we have right here with the Hangman and the Hierophant. And it's possibly connected to these two females, or at least divine feminine. So it can be a male of the feminine archetype or persuasion, as you may want to say, that are in this spiritual career together. This could be like a business partnership. That might be why I was feeling two bookkeeperish kind of women. The High Priestess and the Queen of Earth. Queen of Earth may actually be an earth sign, may actually be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. And the High Priestess may be a Gemini or a water sign, a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Speaking of spiritual career, which may be some sort of healing or something, that can be what this is down here too. Could be connected to not necessarily someone in their own career, but someone going to maybe a Queen of Air, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This High Priestess, she's helping people. Maybe a divine feminine and her slightly younger masculine. This is coming through as some sort of healing with the Queen of Air, not unlike myself, being the person who's administering the healing. And it may be to help. I mean, that's actually what I do, in large part. I'll do healing. Sometimes a divine feminine is typically the one to purchase it, but she'll purchase, energy healing for herself and her divine masculine from me. I've had some divine masculine come and purchase healing for themselves directly, but I can't say that I recall a divine masculine ever purchasing the healing for himself and his feminine. Not that they wouldn't. I'm not suggesting they wouldn't. I just don't think I've experienced that. I think this, not necessarily from me, but from a Queen of Air type, in a spiritually based business, some sort of healing business or something, is working with a couple. And that will help them to, to make their way to this new start, for a second chance, a second time around for this new start with the Ace of Fire. If they get this healing, that's part of the relationship change. See how it's all coming together? Did it get brighter in here? Oh, I just saw an orb. Did you see it? Spiritual career and manifestation. Very nice. And all this pink coming through. Pink is the color that represents the planet Venus. And also Archangel Chamuel. He uses pink and green. I think Venus does too, actually. Both pink and green. And that's about the abundance, the manifestation, the love, of course. Spiritual career and patience. So again, maybe where there was, I don't know if it's necessarily discord, maybe they're just not on the same page, or it's two people working together. Like I said, two queens. Sometimes that can, bump heads, even if they're not angry. It's just like, you're in each other's way because you're both queens. It's like there's only room for one queen, which is funny because the High Priestess, there is only one High Priestess in the deck, but there's 4 queens in the deck. So she sort of stands alone, the High Priestess. And so maybe that's the conflict. And it could be something having to do with, the celestial, the way the planets are aligned currently. Because there's been something funky. Even though Mercury is not in retrograde, something's been very, very weird lately with like communication stuff with like my messenger. It's been really bad. And then like I posted about it and other people said that they were having problems with their messenger too. So I'm not sure what's up, but it seems like something is bizarre with Mercury. Anyway, so you may need patience to work these things through is what I was trying to get to. Patience and karmic completion. So when we're finishing up something, maybe that's what the funky Mercury energy is about. Karmic completion and spiritual partnership. So again, this can be romantic, right? We have an example of a spiritual partnership of a romantic type right here. I think I may be feeling a spiritual partnership here. That would be business. And of course, any kind of familial or friendship partnership, can be possible too. And maybe they were dealing with some sort of karmic issue and that's complete and they've worked their way through it. And, they've completed that lesson. And so they're moving on to something else. Something else like a new start. A second chance. On this note, let's go ahead and cut. I'm still tempted to lay a couple of these. I mean, I had planned to do the whole thing, but I'm back to karmic completion. Okay. Overall energies, domestic harmony, and I feel that that can also apply to all of the scenarios too. I'm just doing over here. I don't want you to think I'm neglecting you though, masculine. All of your scenarios as well. So this domestic harmony could be the romantic couple, right? Coming into harmony again because they've been healed or they've sought some sort of healing, and that allows for a new start and some ascension and growth, personal growth. Or domestic harmony between the business partners. Whatever was getting in their way, the way of proper communication maybe between the two of them is resolved, so that they're now harmonious. This can be somebody else on their own. Remember, you might have to make adjustments to your circle, your cipher, and then you can find peace once you've removed lower vibrations from around you. That's domestic harmony too. All right, I'm gonna lay a couple of these. Let's do one for the masculine here. How about like the four corners and the heart of the matter. Okay, atop Justice and the Page of Fire is rebirth. So this could still be attached to like divorce or something, like an ending and a fresh start. Not, if it's not divorce in terms of, a marriage splitting up, it may be you divorcing yourselves from something, ending some sort of chapter. And then here, right away, the new opportunity comes, right? It's attached to it. So it's like an immediate death and rebirth. And it's not only is it sitting over the Prince of Summer, but just because it's rebirth, could be attached not only to a water sign, but maybe specifically to a Scorpio also. Scorpio, which falls right between Libra and Sagittarius. And Scorpio, where the full moon will be at the end of the week. This reading goes through the 18th. On the 18th is, and for some it's going to be the 19th, which is Malcolm X's birthday, by the way. The full moon in Scorpio. That could be telling us of the time when this opportunity is going to come in for the masculine too. It may be toward the end of the week when the moon enters Libra. The feminine's crowning card atop the Hierophant and the Hangman. Healing, boom, what'd I tell you? 66. And I didn't mention it, but you can, oh no, you're not gonna be able to check. Yeah, at the recording position was like a 66 a minute ago. And it's 66 degrees here in New York too. So it stood out to me and I noticed it, but you're not gonna be able to tell when all the clips are linked together. But yeah, 66. So it's like, double love. And it's healing. It's healing for each. Healing for both. What did I say? Healing for both in this couple. And again, to be more, to get as specific as possible, it could very, very well be a slightly older divine feminine, right? A slightly younger divine masculine. Let's say she's 40 and he's 30 or something, whatever. Getting healing from a Queen of Air. Atop the Four of Winter and the Page of Earth, which sits here in the masculine subconscious, where I said was about him needing some sort of break or an ending, an ending, a break up, right? Closing a chapter, starting a new one. So that's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what the clarification cards are showing too. And this is individuality. So in some cases, again, he's divorced. Not only is he possibly divorcing someone in the, very literal, sense as it relates to marriage, and maybe becoming single and individual, which this Nine of Earth also indicated, and that might be exactly what he wants, right? I've been praying to get out of this bullshit that hasn't been working. That's, that's how some people feel sometimes toward the end. And this is him instead expressing his individuality. Even if he remains partnered, because everybody's not divorcing their partner. Again, some are going to be divorcing something else. And that may help you to foster some sort of feeling of independence and the fact that you're standing on your own somehow. You've reinvented yourself, post whatever this was you were going through. And so here you are here. And the card for the feminine atop the Queen of Air, Queen of Water, and Knight of Water is change. So again, this with the healing that they receive, that they seek and receive, it helps to bring about some sort of change for them. Helps them to clear out of the old energy, and again to make way for this movement into 1111. An ace equals a 1 or 11, and a 2 or 20 equals an 11 also. So this is like a representation of the divine union and partnership there. Changing from a funky energy that was maybe blocking that, or there was some sort of conflict, conflicting energy, to helping us to restore and to begin again. And at the heart of the matter, atop the hangman and our second hangman, because there's one here too, and the Knight of Earth. Very interesting. Creativity. And 3. So this is about abundance too. And can be tied to, again, to any of the scenarios. It's about coming up with creative ways to help yourself to bring about your own abundance. It's part of the manifestation process. And it can be as it relates to financial matters, material growth, maybe where you had been stuck, where there had been lack of movement. Again, maybe specifically connected to a spiritually based career with the hangman. And or, the air of suspension that while you were waiting for this rebirth, for the chapter to close as it relates to a relationship or something. And now coming up with creative ways to continue to further yourself on your individual path. And all of that equates to domestic harmony, like us being at peace. Very 4 of Wands, right? I'd forgotten the overall energy was the King of Water. And feeling with that Scorpio stuff I was feeling a moment ago here. That reinforces that. All right, let's see if Mary, Divine Mother, wants to add anything additional to those same placements. Again, beginning with Mother, I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. And that allows us to show her some compassion. I see and feel others' points of view with forgiveness and kindness. Compassion. Be strong. I pull myself up and do what needs to be done. Compassion. And blessings. Very 9 of Summer, like our crowning card. Today I count my blessings small and large, and I notice the new gifts that come to me from God. Compassion. I think on that note I can cut. It was a very happy message. Counting blessings. And it's enthusiasm. Whatever I am most passionate about is the direction I follow. Definitely connected to whatever this is. This Ace of Fire represents whatever you're most passionate about, and an opportunity to go after it. Maybe where you missed the chance before, it's coming back to you. Maybe it's coming to you in reward for all the hard work you've done here down on this plane. Maybe it's coming to you in reward for all the hard work you've done in general toward your karmic completion for the universe. And so the universe is rewarding you. The overall energy is boundaries. I'm clear and honest with others about my expectations. I guess I was meant to lay those first because I had meant to do this as well, right? So now from Mother Mary, perhaps adding to the messages that we already had, atop the Page of Fire and Justice, Major Arcana card Justice, is tenderness. I am both gentle and powerful. And here we do have, doesn't necessarily look like, it looks like people being blessed, not necessarily married, but blessed with some sort of officiant here. So this could again be connected to maybe closing a chapter in a relationship, starting it again in a new way, a fresh way, fresh energy with the help of the Ace of Fire, or closing the chapter completely. But it was something that had been official, like a marriage. Also, the very simple message, try a little tenderness. If you've been finding like you've been, banging your head against the wall as to how to approach something, a situation again, in a fair and righteous way, try a little tenderness, as the song goes. Atop the feminines, Hierophant and Hangman. Self-respect. I honor and love myself through my healthful actions. So this is again about healing of self. Not necessarily one's partner too, but it's definitely again about healing. And we have to begin with ourselves, whether we help someone else to become healed too or not. Atop the Four of Swords and the Page of Pentacles with the break you felt coming on is love. I think it's about self-love atop this individuality and this need for a break. Love is the answer to all of my questions. So like if your question is, again, how do I get out of this? Or how do I approach this, this new situation? The answer is love in both cases. And atop the feminines, two queens, the Queen of Water and the Queen of Swords, as well as the Knight of Swords. So an extra card had jumped out of here on its own. Look at that. It's God. It's God. I love that because, again, because of the healing that I was feeling here, right? Who better to perform the healing? Or, who better to perform the healing than God? Because like when I do mine, it is God through me. Like I am but an instrument, an intercessor. That's what I am. That's what I do. I don't claim to, I'm not a witch. I'm not, there's anything against witches. I'm not one. That's all I'm saying. So I don't, in any way do any spells or any conjuring or any, manipulation of any kind of energy one way or another, to the so-called good or the bad, to the light or the dark. I don't. I just perform a healing in the way that God showed me to do it, told me to do it on people. So it's just like him sending it through me. So it gave me like chills when I picked up this card. I step out of the way and surrender, exactly. And I surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. Exactly. And I'm noticing the words that I used a little while ago too. I said these two women here may be like in each other's way. One needs to step out of the way of the other. And that's what it says here. I step out of the way and let God take control. So, wow, what an awesome note to be ending on, or just about at least. Here at the heart of the matter, atop the Knight of Pentacles and the other Hangman is, wow, Father, crossing God. Isn't that amazing? My true Father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. So some of us can be working on that kind of healing too, healing a relationship with a parent, and maybe starting that again. Maybe the difficult relationship that we once had is what the door is closing. That's the chapter that's closing, and we're being reborn. We're starting again. Again, could very well, very strongly feeling involve a Scorpio male, maybe having something going on with his father. Further advice to the masculine: quiet. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. So this is about you doing some introspection, and this is about this break down here, right? The Four of Winter is all about rest, recovery, meditation. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to help you to get any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. And what else will bring you the answers you seek? Love is the answer to all my questions, is what it says here, coupled with this. For the feminine from Mother Mary, prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about the situation to bring about real solutions. So again, this could be you praying for yourself to bring about a solution, or this can be you coming to somebody like me, an intercessor, who basically prays you through healing. That's what I do to bring about the solution. From the angels to the masculine, they said the 7 of fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. So especially for those for whom this 4 of winter does relate to a decision, and maybe Major Arcana card Justice also relates to a decision that you're making or receiving. Whatever it is you've decided to do in order, whether it's you acting and you making a decision, or it's you reacting to a decision that was made and figuring out what your next steps are. Don't let anybody push you around, and change your mind. If you change your mind, make it because you decided to change your mind. Don't let anybody talk you out of what it is you've decided to do. Don't let your mother tell you not to spend time with your father or heal your relationship with your father, because he was always a jerk or whatever. Don't let anybody step in and tell you not to, end a relationship where there's no love there, and in order to pursue one where there is, whatever it is. You make a decision and you stand firm, and regardless of what society says. This is us breaking with tradition again. The angels to the feminine. It's another page of air. And we have one here. The princess of winter was the overall energy here too. So we have all of these energies repeating themselves. And you see the 3 of winter trying to stick its way up here. I'm not going to look at that. The 3 of swords. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. The page of air is again a Gemini, Libra, or maybe an Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. From the angel spirits to the masculine, it's another indication that he has a decision to make or is awaiting one. It's the 7 of summer. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move on with a priority. I think the priority that you want to move on with is you and your rebirth, your fresh start. If you need to do more research, then do so. But don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. Again, listen to your heart, make a decision, and then you stand firm in your decision. From the angel spirits to the animal spirits rather to the feminine, it's another page of spring. We've got all these doubles here, right? Remember, there's a page of spring or fire, wands, right here, crowning the masculine too. The princess of spring is energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth, we just talked about that, and broaden horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. Creativity, right? 3s also represent God too. The creator, not just creative and creativity, but the creator is represented by 3 too. And of course, multiple 3s, the ascended masters. So that's, another way of saying God. Those are different vibrations of God. Happy ending to the masculine from the numerology deck. Card number 93, which also equals a 3. It's another yellow 3, basically, like this creativity or this creator that comes here to help us through the week. Happy ending for the masculine. If you follow through with this, what it looks like you're to do here. And feminine for us, card number 81, leadership. Again, I think this is having to do with those of us who've got some sort of business situation going on. And this is about you, handling that. Businesswoman, businessman of the feminine persuasion, getting their business on this week. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly general reading. I will be back with love. Thank you so much for joining, watching, sharing, and subscribing. If you do need healing from me or your own private personal reading, all of my information is in the description box, and I can be reached on all my social media. I like to be friendly with people too, be friends with people too. So you can hit me up on social media. You can add me on Facebook or IG or whatever, and we can interact. Namaste.